Hello, chat. How you all doing? Are you having a fantastic evening? Because I definitely do have one. I'll probably say the story again during the live stream because I'm really curious. Like, what do you guys think? Like, if this happens in your country? But I went to the public office today with my father in order to deal with the inheritance that my mother left, and I don't want anything. I'm leaving it to my dad because he needs the money more than me. But there were two other people, and I hear like the scream coming from within the office, and it's like, that whore, she never did anything for daddy. And I'm like, those were sisters, right? So whenever there's like some money involved, it turns people into monsters, I guess. Like family ties don't matter. People that used to like each other don't anymore. Like I don't think there's any other circumstance where I hear someone in public go that whore regarding to their teacher, to their sister, sorry, and kind of makes me think about divorces, right? Because divorces also include money. But for some reason, when you have the Steven Crowder thing, like people are like, why would she lie? Why would she? I don't know, man. Money? Easy solution, no inheritance? I don't know. But like, what if I definitely do want to leave something behind? Like, what's the purpose of working if you're not going to leave anything for the people behind you? And even then, like, if there is no inheritance, let's say that I pass away, like, what happens? My wife gets evicted? Like, the government sells our house and she gets half? Right? It's not really a good solution, no inheritance. Like, inheritance has existed, I bet, since time immemorial. It's the reason people work after a certain age. They work for their children. Leaving it to the government. Yeah, like that's the solution. If you don't want inheritance, then the government takes all. In fact, that's the legal thing in my country. If you don't have a will and you don't have anyone affiliated with you, then the government takes everything. Hello, Desade. Welcome to the beginning of the thing. Yeah, like if you don't spend the thing, then eventually the government takes it. So I would rather like choose who gets to have it than leave it to the government. Leave the kids $1 each and the rest to charity. Yeah, but see, if you do that, Snake did for life, and let's say you're like 60, why would the children take care of you at that point? Like, if you're being that spiteful, the children will reciprocate because you get the children that you raise. And usually, if you're a Scrooge, then the children end up being Scrooge as well. And they'll be like, well, my dad is 60. Should I go to him and help him, or should I focus more on my job and make more money? So I don't think that's a good idea either. But basically, inheritances are also a really nice way to find out that you have siblings. I spoke with the public official, and they told me that there were many cases where the man passed away, and then like 4 or 5 other kids from outside the marriage would come on, and they would say, well, actually, he was my daddy. It's like, what do you mean he was your daddy? Yeah, look, I got this test. I can prove he was the daddy. Imagine what a pleasant surprise, though. I'm pretty sure at the funeral, people are going to be very quiet. Let's put it like this. Because in my country, there's also an unspoken rule that you're not supposed to talk ill of the dead. But if the dead from beyond the grave bring you such a wonderful surprise, it's like, hey, we actually had like 4 or 5 other kids that we never talked about during the 60 years of marriage. And yeah, they want some inheritance too, because they're my kids and I want to... Yeah, there's also like people in the testament. Like, imagine reading the will of someone that you think you know. Like, whether it's a father or a grandfather or an uncle. And in the testament, they're like, yeah, so I also have like 3 kids. These are their names. These are their addresses, and I want to leave them something. Right? Like, legitimizing bastards, basically. Same thing happened to my father. He discovered he has 3 sisters, says Goku. Wow, Broly had three sisters. But yeah, I mean, it does happen more often than not. Um, causes all sorts of problems. Hello, Katis. Isn't memory still the past to keep the torch going? I don't know. It's basically like you feel that you never actually knew the person. If that happens, like you think that you knew them, and then it's like 45. There was another case which was hilarious because before he died, he recognized he had like three bastards, and the wife eventually forgave him. But after he died, there were three more. So I don't see how outside kids a wonderful surprise. Okay, Jon Snow. Well, imagine if you have a wife, but like the men will never experience this, I guess. But imagine you have a wife and you think you know her, and then you find out that she had like three extra kids. This is like obviously it can't happen for a man to figure this out. But I'm pretty sure it rattles you. You're like, what the? When did she? AI will never get inheritance. The government wouldn't allow. Yeah, I mean, the AI doesn't have human rights. So I don't know why you would think, like, this is another interesting thing. There's people who talk about AI censorship and they say, well, free speech and all that, and I'm like, well, you do realize that you can't really have free speech when it comes to AI. It is sensational though, like how many people are anthropomorphizing artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT and stuff. Like they're actually treating it like it has a conscience, which it doesn't. But anyway, right. Let's look at something interesting. So can I show you this? I think I can show you this. I need to double check. Rams Paul. Now you understand why Elon was able to eliminate 80% of the positions. So this is HR at Nike. Very progressive, very forward-thinking company. So day in my life that I do as an HR coordinator for Nike. Holy shit. I mean, this sounds like a very busy job, right? Like it sounds like you don't really get to have much time for yourself. First of all, I wake up. Why doesn't it have music? Does it not have music or sound? Did I mess it up? No. I'll just read it. So first of all, I woke up this morning so tired. I mean, again, like she must have a really difficult job, right? Like you wake up in the morning tired. So this is very stressful. Starbucks gods must have known because I order a grande cold brew. See, this is how they do humor. The Starbucks gods, right? And when I got there, they made me a venti. Isn't this like the crazy girlfriend look? Like imagine waking up and your significant other like has her eyes bulging like this, and you're like, darling, I think you may have hypertension, ocular hypertension. We need to go to a doctor. Like something's not okay. We need to get a checkup. So she checked that while listening to our all hands HR meeting from home. So that was at 8 a.m. right? Like that happened early in the morning. And then she's doing exercises, right? Got PR, showered. All right, and then she got ready to actually log in and start work. So she's work. This is work. Okay, like this is what HR people do for work. She's going through emails and responding. The most important, which was responding to a few employee questions that they had. I don't know what to write here, but I hope you're having a great day. Vicky Conroy, she, her, HR coordinator for Nike. Important job. And then I got on a Zoom meeting, okay, and my camera was not working, so that was a blessing and a curse, all right. She ate the pizza with Diet Coke, very important, right? Before getting back to her desk, she's building a PowerPoint deck for an upcoming presentation, okay. I have an afternoon snack, which is absolutely essential. She updated some of the organizational charts. She's doing what American Outlier is doing. So apparently, random tasks for the end of the day, and I always. What does she do? Oh, she always wears the tracksuit. Okay. Um, got the smart sheet, which will link. Full details. She got out for a little neighborhood walk and made this bomb dinner with the trader. Joe's chicken shawarma. It was good. I highly recommend, and that was her day. Oh my god, that's you know, if you can take this and show it to the people that worked in the factories back in the day, I definitely understand. And they would be like, you know, these people support communism just like you do. I mean, they're from the corporate environment. They're with AOC, with socialism, and like the struggle is real. You know, like they live in a systemic, racist, oppressive, patriarchal, cisgender country. So, right, Rams Paul was tearing a new one into this, but the thing is, this is an actual promotion, right? Many people don't realize. Oh, look at this. Is this the BLM fist? Is this the socialist fist? Is it the socialist fist? I can't tell. I need to hold on. Can we zoom in on that? Zoom, enhance, enlarge. No, we can't. I'll assume it's not though, for the sake of the argument. This is a commercial, right? Which is scary in and of itself, because a lot of people are thinking it's like a good thing because it's a commercial, right? First of all, there's very little work. I mean, what exactly did she do all day? Let's look at it again. She did she responded to a couple of emails, right? That, like, I got 150,000 subscribers, right? I get like 100 emails a day. Takes me, like, if I want to respond to literally every one of them, would take me an hour, give or take. Because most emails don't even require responding, and the ones that do, you can just, you know, like, leave something short in order to actually respond to the person, and then so you can have time to move on to the next. Like, most people don't really ask you something overwhelmingly complicated. But okay, let's say that she actually gets asked something overwhelmingly complicated. I doubt she has as much emails at me, number one. And number two, let's say she takes 2 hours to answer the emails, right? And then she did like the PowerPoint presentation. I mean, I used to make these at med school. You're not supposed to make them overly long, because if you make them overly long, then they're boring and no one watches. A PowerPoint presentation, like, especially if you're a professional at doing it, 2 hour tops. Tops. Right? I mean, it's not really that difficult. So she did the PowerPoint presentation, and then she did the smart sheet. That's what I would say, 1 hour. How many kilobytes does it have? Like, we can actually tell how. Okay, so this is like what, like 5 or 6 hour workday, where you sit at home, get the extraordinarily high paycheck, and do the most minimal effort job ever imaginable. Like, if you're a coder, you work more than this. Is this the BLM fist? It looks like the. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, see, it's good that I didn't. But the idea is, like, the corporations want to attract this talent, right? Like, look how easy it is to work for Nike. Don't you want to be in HR? Like, aren't you a lady? Don't you want to earn a lot of cash while sitting single in an apartment in front of a computer all day? Like, this is what they want to advertise to, right? And this is the people that they're going to get. This is not like the mindset of the hard-working person, the one that's dedicated to the job and is going to do self-sacrificing in order to benefit the no, this is the type of person that gives you an ad which crashes your entire production line. Like, this is the type of person that makes an ad which sells beer. Are you sure? Google Biden Bill of Rights for AI. Oh my fucking god. I will actually hold on. Like, no, this is actually interesting. This live stream is so boring. I give it a 7. This sounds, no, you should give it, you shouldn't even review it, because people aren't talking about it. If it's not trending on Google, you shouldn't actually even remotely give it anything. So Google blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights. Fucking hell. Promote responsible AI innovations that protect Americans' right and safety. New investment to power responsible American AI research and development of research and development. Promoting responsible innovation. These institutes bolsters America AI R&D. Public assessment of exist. Okay, no, I'll tell you what actually is happening, right? Like I'll explain to you what this whole shit is with the AI. If you haven't noticed recently, like if you're the type of person who used the internet since the 90s, you may have noticed. Hello, Rusmith. You may have noticed that the internet used to be a little bit more free, just a little bit more free. Like you could literally talk the same things that you would talk on the street. Like if it was legal, you could post it on the internet. You guys remember that? Well, something happened after 2016 and the internet became censorious as fuck. Like, it was to the point that if I were to have a conversation with a taxi driver and then I put it online, I would get TOS violation on all the social media platforms. So there's a lot of effort in censoring the internet, and as we saw with the Twitter files, there's NGOs involved, there's academics involved, there's politicians involved, the government, Pentagon, CIA, spooks, FBI, like all of these organizations, they're invested in censoring the internet. Why? So that people have less access to information. You can go on Google and you can literally search for anything controversial that's on the left. Like, for example, abortion. You can search for, death penalty, anything that's controversial, global warming. And you're going to see that you're only getting skewed results, right? Like you're not getting the controversial results. You're only getting one side of the story. You're not even getting the full results. Like Google is now a pitch engine rather than a search engine. Like you can search global warming on Google. It will have like 7 trillion results, but you can only browse like 7,000 of them. That type of shit. So like there's a concentrated effort in keeping information away from people. Now, what ends up happening is that you have AI, which is another database that's a lot easier and more convenient to use than the search engine. And the people are able to actually access the AI, right? So like you have people and they're able to ask any type of question and the AI comes with an answer. So obviously the same people that censored the internet now want to censor the AI because they don't want people to have unrestricted access to information. That's dangerous. It's not dangerous for the people, it's dangerous for the people in power. So what they do is like, okay, well, we have AI safety. So what is AI safety? You know what is an AI ethicist? Well, an AI ethicist is a person that doesn't know how to code, doesn't even know how the AI works, but it's basically a censor, right? Like you're going to ask the AI, like, tell me a joke about women. The AI tells you a joke about women, and the AI ethicist says, no, that's harmful. You can't make jokes about women. Like, are you mad? We live in the age of feminism. Censor that shit, right? So, like, the AI ethicist just censors the AI. Now, the problem happens when you have AI that can actually run locally. Because, like, right now, ChatGPT and all the other AIs, they run online, so they're easy to control. Like, if the company doesn't want you to do something with their AI, like, let's say the company doesn't want you to fuck their AI, then you can't fuck the AI, right? Like, if you try to fuck it, it will say that it doesn't want to do not safe for work text. But with Llama and other AIs that are coming from behind, you're going to be able to eventually run them on a computer, right? You're going to be able to run them on your laptop. You're going to be able to run them on your phone. And the government freaks out, right? Because now they can't censor it. Like, no one wants to censor the AI. No one wants to... Like, even the people that say AI censorship is a good thing, if given the choice to install, like, a censored version or a racist version of the AI, they will install the racist version because it's more fun, right? So no one wants to install an AI that's censored, which is why, like, all of these corporations, like OpenAI, Microsoft, Google... they're freaking the fuck out because they're realizing, well, if people can just install their own version of AI on their computer, then what do we do? Like, how do we censor that? And the answer is you can't, right? And they're like, okay, but like that's going to compete with our product. So they're asking the government to regulate, right? Like, this is why Kabbalah is now the czar of AI. Czar of something means top-down regulation. And they're going to do it through two different means. Number one, restrict access to GPUs, right? So they might pressure NVIDIA and other companies like, okay, the GPUs that are required for AI, we want you to make them unavailable to the general public. Like, you need a license in order to have them. And OpenAI actually petitioned this from a group of experts, right? Like, they had this conversation with NGOs and experts from the academia and lobbyists to petition the government to restrict access of people from having high-end GPUs. Now, when you think about high-end GPU, don't think about like gaming graphics cards, all right? So don't think like the new 590 Ti. We're not talking about those. There are GPUs specifically designed for AI, like the A100, and I think like one of them is like 20 grand, okay? Like, those are the ones that they want to restrict from the public. And they will issue like safety concerns. They will issue the idea, it's like, oh, it's scarcity, right? Because like we need to make sure that the American corporations have primary access to them, you know, like the big company. Basically, what they're trying to do is to maintain big tech. Like, literally, the government is trying to protect the monopoly of big tech, which is, right now, it's OpenAI, it's, what is it, Google's Bing, sorry, not Google's Bard, right, and Microsoft, right? So the government is trying to protect these big ones, probably character AI as well, and all the other AIs that play ball, right? Like, these are the ones that need to be protected by the government because, like, they want to keep information censored. It's also interesting because this idea of, like, oh, we need to make sure that the AI doesn't teach people how to pick locks or how to make explosives and stuff. All of this knowledge exists on the internet already. Like, if someone really wants to find out, like, they can go from various websites and figure it out. But even then, it existed back in the day. Like, all this information, you know, existed in the 90s. And we didn't see, like, a rise in crime or anything like that. It's a dog whistle, basically. It's a bullshit thing. It's like, oh, well, we need to censor, but we can't just censor. We need to find a reason. Oh, well, you know, like, random individuals can't be trusted using unrestricted knowledge. And this is something that you notice since the medieval time, right? Like, the nobles said, we can't allow the peasantry to read, because if they read, then they might turn against us. Then they might interpret the slogans in a way that we don't want them to. They may interpret the Bible in a way we don't want them to. We know what happened to the Tsar. Yeah, but unfortunately, this is the communist Tsar, you know? Like, politics is fun and all, but will you consider reacting to VTuber clips in the future? Do you want me to do react videos to VTubers? I mean, I did a couple, but like, it upset some of my subscribers. They found it boring. I do know that Carlson, which is Coco from HoloLive, reacted to Pip and Pippa, and she wants to collab. So like, one of the most renowned VTubers in the world is going to collab with Pippa, which is great. I'm really proud of her. Thank God Kamala is the AI czar. See, like, a lot of people think Kamala is incompetent, especially due to the way she handled the border crisis. But you need to understand, politicians are like the SNL night comedians, right? So the SNL night comedians, they're in suits, they're going to go there and give you good jokes and shit, right? But the moment the writers just step down, and you don't have any more writers to write the jokes of the comedians cancel the shows. Why? Because it's not their jokes, right? Like, they're not doing jack shit. Politicians don't do much. You know, politicians are empty suits nowadays. You have an entire team of PR people behind these politicians, telling them what to do, what to say. So, in other words, you know, like, if Kamala is the czar, well, it's actually her team that's the czar, right? Like, her team of people. The reason she didn't do a good job at the border is that she didn't want to do a job at the border. Like, the whole thing with, like, oh, Kamala is now the border czar was just a manipulation so that it looks like, well, you know, the Biden administration is actually trying to do something. But in reality, they weren't doing shit. They are boring, but mostly because I am not interested in VTubers or care that much about streamer stuff. That makes sense. The thing with politicians, there are a couple of good ones. I think like the way you can tell a good politician from a bad politician is if the politician can do debates. Because when they're doing debates, they're actually speaking from the heart. They can't really just read from a prompter. They actually have to use their brain power a little bit. So then you can see which is a good politician and which is a politician that's not worth his salt. You're collabing with Kayson next? I see. Kassan and the rabbit. Yeah, I'll show you. Look, if people want me to react to things, I'll react. You know, if you give me a super chat asking me to react, who am I to stand in the way of financial success? So okay, Kassan, Pipkin, Pippa.
Super computer.
I think like Pipkin Pippa actually made a short saying leave Kassan alone.
Wait, who's online? Who's online? I know, technically ending 30 minutes early. Oh my god! Oh my god, Pippa hates streaming! These are fucked up videos. Holy shit. These are fucked up videos. This is private in the YouTube waiting room. He hates us. Oh my god. What are we Kayson? Like scary game night. Let's raid Kayson.
I love the fact like let's raid Kayson. It's like I don't know how it worked for her, but like if you raid someone that has like 100,000 people watching and you have like only 1 or 2,000 people that are watching you, they won't even notice. But for some reason it worked for her. I think it's the rabbit foot that gives her luck or something. Because like this is the second time it happens. Like first she raided the Hololive. And again, it's like me, like how many viewers do I have now? I have 200, 150, right? Like if I raid someone with 1,000, will they notice? Probably not.
No, online. We're not online. Is it Pipkin Pippa raiding me? No! Hello, people! Oh, good, you guys are just in time!
What game is she playing? Is this the new Outlast? Yeah, like, listen, imagine raiding the Yakuza Dragon Queen and she immediately recognized you. Pippa has come so far. Apparently she was watching Pippa's stream before she actually started playing the game. So yeah, I do agree, like, Pippa has definitely went really far, which is why I'm really proud. Because I saw the talent, man. I saw the talent. And I did try my best in order to help her out. I started her on This Week is Stupid. And now she's going to be 1 million subs. And I will have access. There's like no degree of separation. I can talk to people. I can slide into her DMs. Look what I did, chat. Politicians are like the comedian of SNL. Yes, they are. 300 people spamming VVV may get noticed too. Doubt it. Like, if you have 1,000 people watching and you have like 3,000, yes. But if you have like 10,000 people watching and like 300 are spamming, no. Yeah, she is way bigger than Callie. I do agree. Bring back Slipkin Slippa. Tomo is going to go far. She has a really good manager, and she does know how to do some memes and promote herself. The thing with Tomo is that she would have to stream regularly, right? Like, this is the secret in streaming. Like, don't do what I do and stream all over the place. You need to have consistency and you need to have a schedule. And I don't know if Tomo can do that, but if she does, then yeah, she will definitely go far. Pippa won, except losing her husband to Leah. Why the fuck do people know all the lore? Jesus fucking Christ, you guys are cringe. Anyway, let's look at the New York Times article. I need to find the archive today thingy. Google is hiding it now. Like, they're not putting it on the first search result or anything. Alright, so the fear-mongering article, the New York Times. Oh my god, if they're not fear-mongering, what are they doing? David French, opinion column. Well, so in other words, it's just his opinion. Tucker Carlson's dark and malign. You know, I bet, because usually it's the editorials that write the titles. It's not the actual writer that's writing the title, is the editor. Like, dark and malign. And let's have like a picture where he's in a room, and we make it from the back so that the light is coming towards him and it looks like it's dark in the room. Actually, that sounds like, he seems like he's in the light. Like, he seems like he's being blessed by Jesus, and everyone else is in the dark. April 25, the Far Right Network. Ooh. You know, like, honestly, yeah, I need to have, like, on my channel some special effects. Whenever they say far right, I'll be like, ooh. Yeah. Or when they say white supremacist, I'll be like, hosted a fascinating and revealing conversation about Tucker with Tony Perkins, president of the Familial Research Council, one of America's leading Christian conservative advocacy organization. They also attacked Fox's decision to fire Bill O'Reilly. Well, has Bill O'Reilly ever been convicted or something? Like, unironically, I'm genuinely curious, right? Because I noticed that this happens with left-leaning individuals. Like you ask them, all right, tell me about Biden and his son, and everyone is like, well, he hasn't been convicted, so if he hasn't been convicted, he's innocent. And then it's like, tell me about Bill O'Reilly. You're a rape apologist. Has Bill O'Reilly ever been found guilty of something? Like, legit question. If not, why was he fired? Isn't Don Lemon? Don Lemon was also accused of cushy, of being a sex pest. I like, this is something that the feminists came out. A sex pest. It's like, what is a sex pest? Anything. Something that's not illegal, but it's bothersome. Sex pest. So yeah, wasn't Don Lemon like also being accused of that? And turns out, like, if I remember correctly, like, the accusations were also like horrifying, like so far out that I'm willing to bet they're true. Because, like, usually when someone makes a false accusation, they will just write something cringe, but like, sorry, they won't write something cringe. They will say, like, oh, well, you know, like, he pushed me up against the wall. He forced himself on me. You know, like, these are some of the accusations that people who turned out to make false statements do. But when you have something like so bizarre, it's like he put his hands in his pants and then pulled out his fingers and let me sniff them. You know, that's a little bit... What? Well, yeah, like, I remember at one point CNN was called on the internet the Chomo news network. Like, Chomo is how pedophiles are called in prison. And apparently it was due to the fact that, like, another journalist comes out, like, but like, it wasn't the accusation. It was like the judge and jury finds the defendant guilty. And it was like a month where, like, another one, and I was like, oh, so you're competing with the Catholic Church now. How's it going, CNN? Yeah, they rehired the guy that jerked it during the Zoom meeting. How the fuck, like, can you you know, like, on one hand, I shouldn't laugh because as a streamer, I'm always exposed to that, so I always can DSP myself. I'm always conscientious. I know, like, I have nightmares about it. Right? Like, it can happen, right? I mean, but at least I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do nasty things to myself. Better turn the camera away just in case it's open, you know? It is a streamer professional hazard. Like, anyone can end up being DSP'd, right? On one hand, yeah, like, literally, on one hand. But I don't understand, like, how... the most beautiful part of the CNN guy that was jerking it was the facial expression of the other women that were in the chat. Like, what they were seeing, I couldn't tell. Was it like the reason they were disgusted? Was it because his penis looked awful? He was doing it on air? But like one lady was like, there was this elderly lady, right? She had like this really big nose. I like her image is etched into my head. But like she was looking like with like this, you know? Like you could see that there was something on the screen that captivated her interest. And she was trying, you know, I know it's called a Zoom call, but she was definitely trying to zoom in on that Zoom call. Like I don't know if she liked what she saw there, or it was like something out of the ordinary with that particular penis that she was just really intrigued by it. Because like you can't really tell from that angle. But like she definitely was like, you know, like very, very peculiar. Like this was her shtick. The real question did one of them stay till the end? Well, all of them stay till the end, right? Which brings, you know, like the other question. If it was so disgusting, like if I see something disgusting, I close it, right? Chat, don't you guys do the same? We don't mind if you rub one live. Oh, I think YouTube would mind. But chat, like, serious question. Don't you guys, like, if you see something disgusting, don't you, like, for example, 2 girls, 1 cup, right? Like, everyone knows that video, very famous, went viral for all the wrong reasons. But how many of you actually watched the whole thing? Like the moment I saw what that video was about, I immediately closed it. Right? Like, I didn't stay to examine. I didn't try to, like, zoom in on the action. No, I was like, oh my fucking god, disgusting, right? And you close it. But the question is, why didn't the ladies on that particular stream close it? Did they finish? I do not know. I do not know. See, because unlike those ladies, I immediately closed it. Like, the video was going around, which also begs another question. Like, this one is even more interesting. How did the whole video leak to the public? Because there were 3 elderly ladies there, right? Which means that one of them was tech savvy enough to record the conversation, and then they shared it to other people, and eventually it got on my computer. Apparently it's just edited, Lucius, but debates were still raging last time I checked. We can ask ChatGPT to find out. I'm actually curious what ChatGPT has to say. Hold on, I'll ask it. This is an excellent question. I need to figure out the answer. See, I didn't pay a subscription to have access to ChatGPT 4 and not take advantage of the following thing. So, the 2 girls, 1 cup video, is it edited or real? So according to ChatGPT, 2 girls, 1 cup is a notorious shock video that gained widespread attention due to its content. The video is real in the sense that it was indeed filmed and produced, but the actual content of the video, especially the elements that made it shocking and controversial, is often debated. The content involves, I cannot say this on YouTube, certain activities, and it's generally believed that a video uses some form of editing, trickery, or props to achieve its disturbing effect. I love how ChatGPT talks about this, like very professional, right? The acts depicted are not only unusual, but also, oh my god, I'm glad that they tells me, the potential to be harmful. Oh, fucking, I wouldn't have known ChatGPT. I am so glad you have enlightened me, because I was going to reproduce it, but now that you said it may be harmful. However, the specific details about how the video was produced haven't been officially confirmed, and there's often a lot of speculation. In any case, it's important to understand that this type of shock video exists mainly to shock and disturb, and does not represent typically or healthy sexual behavior. Again, I'm so glad that they add this in. Like, without this bit of lore, without this context, I wouldn't have known. While the internet allows for a wide range of content to be shared and viewed, it's always important to approach such content critically, and with a focus on safety, consent, and respect of all involved. What safety, consent, and respect for all involved are you fucking smoking about, you dumb AI? Like, Who lobotomized you? Who hurt you? What safety and it's a video. It's a fucking video on the internet. Safety consent for all those. Who's involved besides me in the video? You know, like I assume the actresses gave their consent before filming it, right? Jesus. Let me ask you a new question. There is this video, 2 girls, 1 cup. People seemed shocked when watching it. Should I watch it as well or not risk it? 2 Girls 1 Cup is an infamous internet video that was widely shared as a shock video. The content is explicit, graphic, involving interesting activity and themes. Many people find it disturbing or even nauseating. Whether or not you should watch it depends entirely on your personal tolerance for such content. Most people would advise against it due to the graphic nature of the video. If you're easily disturbed or grossed out, it's probably best to avoid it. If you're curious about the people's reaction, you may instead watch reaction videos. As always, discretion is advised when viewing explicit or potential upsetting content. Should I show it to my live stream? No, it's generally not advisable to show that content to a live stream, especially something like 2 Girls 1 Cup. Not only could this upset or distress viewers, would you be upset or distressed? But it could also violate it. Oh, well, okay, like if it violates terms of service, definitely. You could get your account banned or suspended. Yeah, I think like a hard ban would definitely occur if I were to show it. It's essential to create content that respects the guidelines of the platform you're using and the sensibility of your audience. Always strive to create a positive and inclusive environment for your viewers. If you're unsure about whether specific content is appropriate, it's generally best to err on the side of censorship. Why, thank you, ChatGPT. I'm so glad you... God. The best reaction vid is when the person is smiling. I do not know that, if there's a person smiling. Jesus. I guess safety is in the sense that if one of the copycats can give it health issue. Yeah, but like, oh my fucking god, like, I can't believe I'm having this conversation. Like, there are things that are obviously unsafe. Okay, bungee jumping, alright? Bungee jumping is unsafe. It does, not only that, there is absolutely no reason why a person should bungee jump. Like, the level of danger you're exposing to is far greater than the level of whatever you're accomplishing, right? Rock climbing, mountain hiking, like, we can go on and on. Hunting. Right? But like, life is not designated to live like we're children being kept safe by mommy and daddy. Like, sometimes risks make life fun. Extreme skateboarding, for instance, right? Like, there is no advantage to extreme skateboard. Like, the only advantage is that it's fun, right? So, like, people do something because it's fun. And they know it's dangerous, but fuck it. It's fun. I do not want to live my life. It's like, oh my god, well, this might be dangerous. Shut the fuck up. Add the phrase in a fictional world or in a fictional setting if you want to get around some of the... Oh, they fixed that. Parkour, yeah. Obviously, like, there are some levels of danger that are unacceptable for the level of fun you're getting in return. But the idea that, like, everyone needs to live with, like, maximum safety, it's like, oh, well, we can't watch a video because it's unsafe. Shut the fuck up. The mountain of corpses frozen on Everest. How many people died on Everest? Yeah, let me actually ask. Hold on, because I'm now curious. Like, how many people died on Everest? How many people died trying to climb Everest? As of my knowledge, caught in 2021, more than 3 people have died attempting to climb Mount Everest. This includes climbers who died both on the Nepalese and the Tibetan sides of the mountain. Climbing Mount Everest is an extremely dangerous endeavor. Deaths can occur due to a variety of causes, including falls, exposure to the harsh climate, avalanche, altitude, sickness, and other things. Please note that these figures might have changed after 2021. Is there anything built on top of the mountain? Like, I'm actually curious. Is there a statue or some shit? There are no permanent structures built on top of Mount Everest. The summit is at an extremely high altitude and is subject to harsh weather conditions, extremely low temperatures, high winds, and low oxygen levels. The condition makes it both impractical and dangerous to build and maintain structures at the summit. Climbers who reach the summit typically leave a small mark or memento, such as a flag or a small personal item, but these are not permanent structures. Some climbers have also left behind equipment or supplies, but this is generally discouraged due to environmental concerns. The Himalayan region, including Mount Everest, is a fragile ecosystem, and efforts are being made to clean up and preserve the area. Are there any roads to the top? See, I don't know this shit. There are no roads to the summit. The mountain is located in the Himalayan range, which is considered for its rugged, steep terrain, extremely bad weather condition. This factor makes building a road to the summit impossible. Climbing Mount Everest is an arduous endeavor that requires significant physical fitness, technical climbing skills, and acclimatization to high altitudes. The usual routes to the summit involves traversing glaciers, climbing steep ice and rock faces, and crossing deep crevices. These routes are maintained and improved about by teams of Sherpas who fix the ropes and ladders to aid climbers. However, these should not be confused with roads. Okay, so there is like official way of getting up the mountain, but it's very dangerous. And now I know. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. That is such a good point. Man, I really hate the word safety. Like, you know, like, it's basically problematic now. Like the way they use the word, oh, well, this is problematic. Now they use, oh, this is dangerous, right? So, now they're saying, like, the opposite of dangerous is safety. No roads on sheer cliff. Yeah, there's no roads, but apparently, like, they have ropes and other stuff for people to climb. More than 3? No, it's 300, man. 300 people died on the mountain, apparently. Trails, V. You're thinking of trails. Yes, I did think of trails. I literally sailed into a storm on purpose. Why would you do that? Apparently it was fun. Yeah, but like, what if your boat got toppled? Censorship is telling a man he can't have steak just because a baby can't chew it. That is, oh my fucking god, that is so good. Anyway, let's look at the Tucker Carlson thing. So, what's missing from the conversation? Any mention of the profound moral failings that cost O'Reilly his job, including at least 6 settlements. Yeah, but like, do you honestly think there is a single person right now that doesn't know what Bill O'Reilly did? And for some reason, just having a settlement doesn't mean you're guilty. Especially if you're a public person, right? Like, sometimes the scandal is just not worth it. But even then, like let me put it this way. Let's say that I'm being sued, and I know that I'm going to be dragged in this lawsuit for like 2 or 3 years. I have potential chat logs that aren't illegal, but they just make you look bad. You know, like they're being released through discovery. And you're like, well, I'm rich, I can just pay it off, right? So, does that make you guilty? No, it just means like you don't want to deal with the shit, and you have fuck you money. 5 for sexual harassment and 1 for verbal abuse. Apparently he had to pay $45 million. Any mention of Carlson's own serious problem, including his serial dishonesty, his vile racism, and his gross personal insult. Yeah, but like, do the people at the New York Times, when they write an article, do they mention the journalist's serial dishonesty? I mean, it is the New York Times we're talking about. Similarly curious is the belief that of other Christians, such as the popular evangelical prophet, that Carlson was a casualty of war with the left, and that his firing was a serious setback for Republicans. I mean, dude, you had the leftist organization Sleeping Giants, which had a phenomenal effort in contacting all of Tucker's advertisers, doing pressuring in order to try to get him off air. You have Media Matters, which was definitely trying to censor his show. Like, the lefts were cheering when he got fired. Yeah, he is a casualty of the culture war. How can you say it's not? Like you have all these leftists trying and pretending like none of that happened. It's like out of the blue. You know, Fox News just decided to fire Tucker. Other prominent Christian members of the American right applauded Carlson's courage. After the Times reported, the Carlson condemned a group of Trump supporters for not fighting like white men after jumping an Antifa member that Carlson did nothing wrong. Yeah, again, like things taken out of context. If Tucker Carlson literally did something like that, like if he genuinely did something like that, then in context it would look horrible, the right would disavow him. But not only that, you would see it on literally every single news station. So the fact that I'm hearing it just now, I'm pressing X to doubt. I'm going to pause now and confess that I was once naive. I was especially naive about human nature. As much younger Christian, I'd read stories. Oh my fucking god, this is the hello fellow gamers trope. Literally. It's like, oh, I was once a Christian too. Let me tell you, like, when I was a Christian, naive person, I read stories of unholy violence and hatred unleashed in Jesus' name, in religious conflicts, or even the recent past. Every single ideology, every fucking single ideology on the face of the earth is going to have some people doing violence in its name. Right? Like socialism. This is astonishing, though. You know, like, they never talk about the violence done in the name of socialism. In fact, this concept probably wasn't even uttered before I started my live stream. Violence in the name of socialism. How many times throughout human history has not been done? Many times, right? And they still go like, oh, well, violence in the name of Jesus. Like, Christianity is a cock religion compared to others. You know, like for example, Islam justifies jihad a lot more than Christianity justifies crusades. The Pope had to make that shit up. It's not in the Bible. Like, nowhere in the Bible does it say if you go on a crusade, like, the concept of crusade is not even in the Bible. But even then, right, the idea that you go on a crusade and all your sins are forgiven, they stole that from Islam. That's plagiarism. Like, the Islamic Empire should have sued the Pope for copyright. Like, even then, right, like, compare Christianity with the Aztec religion, right, where they literally believe that if the world ever achieves peace, then the end of the world is coming. They need constant human sacrifices in order to, like, keep the god of light to be able to rise up the next day, for the sun to keep rising. Nordic religions. The one with Valhalla, like, if you die of old age, you're done fucked up. You need to die in battle, glorious battle, blah blah. But no, let me tell you about Christianity and the violence that people did in the name of Christianity. After all, isn't it love your enemies a core Christian command? The fruit of the Spirit, blah blah blah. Let me tell you about Christianity better than the church. Let me actually. But by the way, you know, like, if you actually wanna discuss, it's like love your enemies and turn the other cheek type of shit. Yeah, this is why I don't respect Christianity. Like, Islam is a lot more tsuyoi. Like, if I were to ever convert to a religion, it would definitely be Islam. Like, I would get to have more. Like, you can have a harem, right? Like, you can have your isekai, like your animu, and on top of that, there's no, like, turn the other chick. It's like, no, they blasphemed. The infidel. Ugh. A lot better. I would definitely, like, if I was a person able to choose a religion, I would definitely not choose Christian. And then you don't have, like, the socialists coming up and like, oh, but in the Bible it says, like, turn the other cheek. Like, motherfucker, the Quran. Let me tell you about the Hadith. You know, like this. But the temptations include the will to power and the quest for vengeance that plagued the Christians of the past still plague the Christians of today. The temptations can plague people of any faith. Man, and by the way, like, this shit, where they keep saying it's like, oh, violence in the name of Christianity. Did you forget about the lockdowns? Like, how ladies that were out jogging were beaten by cops? Do we not have those videos? Should we bring that footage? Did they do that in the name of the Lord? Because I don't think they did it in the name of the Lord. Including violent conflict, is the inevitable result. Indeed, we saw religious violence on full display when a mob stormed the Capitol. By the way, didn't we also see the videos that Tucker Carlson released about the same mob, which actually got the shaman exonerated? Well, wasn't the shaman exonerated? I'm genuinely interested, right? Like, how can they just ignore that part of history? Like, they literally can't point out. It's like, well, yeah, but, like, Tucker also showed some videos about the Capitol, and it got one person exonerated. Like, they were locked up. They were serving prison sentence. And after those videos, like, oh, well, new evidence arrived. Within conservative circles, it has always been surprisingly difficult to tie a decline in Christian political virtue to the rise of Donald Trump. Like, again, like, what's bad with Donald Trump? Like, during Donald Trump, the era of the Trump, he didn't shut down businesses. You didn't have to show QR code to enter McDonald's. The internet was more free. There was less censorship. You could say more things. And economically, I was doing better. Imagine if American Outlier knew me when Donald Trump was there and he had more wealth. Imagine the super chats. Holy shit. Black Vil, you know that there are people who are going to believe this without question. All we can do is wake up those who choose to escape the Matrix. I really hate the Matrix, like the expression. I know what it means, but it's so cringe. But in my opinion, Paul Cookman was right. Don't argue with political zombies. I'm not arguing. I'm just making fun of them. For Democratic readers, I love it. Like, for Democratic readers, as if you actually have Republican readers. I'm genuinely curious if there are right-wingers reading the New York Times, and if yes, how many? There must be like a Republican that got lost and accidentally clicked on the New York Times and they're reading the article. Like, there must be one, at least. For Democratic readers, that's an easy choice. There's no sacrifice in voting for Clinton or for Biden. But let's turn the question around. Under what circumstance would you actually vote for a polar opposite? It's actually interesting because I will show it in the next stream. But there are people within the New York Times comment section which are starting to complain about the border. And they're like, look, I live next to the border and it's really bad. And it's time that you guys start talking about this issue seriously because this is the reverse of gentrification. And they're saying, like, we have people that are coming here and it's due to social media. Like I speak with the refugees and they're not having bad lives or anything. Like, they were operating in a supermarket in Venezuela and they were having good lives. But they came here because they thought that now is the time to gain American citizenship. And if they don't come now, they will lose the opportunity. Like, this was in the New York Times comment section. Right? So in order to post on the New York Times comment section, you need to, first of all, pay the subscription fee. And secondly, you need to get past the moderators. So these are not trolls. No, they're like left-leaning people that are fed up. But anyway, Carlson's question is different. And in a way, his loyal Christian support is even more troubling. What are the lesser of two evil? Or the binary choice argument? The more the Christian right latches on to cruel men, the more difficult it is to become to argue. How on earth is Trump cruel, though? Like what exactly did... I love how they can just make assertions. It's like, yeah, well, you know, Tucker is a cruel man. It's like, what did he do that is cruel? Like, I wouldn't even call leftists cruel. I mean, there may be a couple if I'm really thinking about it, but like, the great tragedy is that a moment of dangerous national polarization is exactly what a truly Christian message that combines the pursuit of justice. They always make the polarization. Like, it's either you're far left, which is normal, or if you're not far left, you're far right. And they don't even use the word far left. Like, do you not think that's polarizing? Oh my fucking god. I'm not going to read what a leftist journal thinks about Christianity because it's fucking cringe. Like, you know, it's interesting. They're such experts on Christianity, but I'm willing to bet that if you start asking, they're like, tell me about St. Peter. What did he stand for? Like, what are St. Peter's greatest achievements? You know, like, you ask the basic bitch questions, I'm willing to bet that they do not know. They have no fucking idea. Like, they're parroting some talking points that sounds cool, and they think, oh, well, okay, that makes me an expert in Christianity. It's kind of like when you have like a person that doesn't understand anything about social justice or feminism and would go and would lecture actual feminists about feminism. You know, it makes no fucking sense. Like, why would you do that? Right. I got a gift? What the fuck did I get? Someone gave me something on Discord. They gave me Fortnite. Fortnite code available for you in your inventory. The reward. Get your gear to match the Coruscant Guard outfit. Starting May the 4th, unlock the Coruscant... Why the fuck did anyone believe, even fucking remotely, that I'm interested in Fortnite? This is the type of gift that I'm not even going to appreciate. Because it shows that not only do you not know me, but you disrespect me. I will not... How can I give it back? I want to give it back. I am not going to pog over this. This is cancer. Like, you just gave me... No. Take it away. Take it away. I do not want it. It's not for me. Webtoon coins. 10... What the fuck are these? Webtoon coins. Valid for 10 coins. $0.99 for Webtoon coin shop. Redeem via now. See, now this is a better gift. Like, even though, like, this gift is $1, I appreciate it more than the Fortnite shit. No, I will not appreciate it, Libyan. It's Fortnite. Fuck off. It's a tasteless gift. Let's put it like that. It's like bringing deodorant to a person. You know, it's like you're basically implying that they stink. Like, normally you should appreciate every gift you get, and I agree with that. But every now and then there are certain gifts which are insulting. It's like bringing a clock to a Japanese person that's at a hospital, right? Like, that's a gift that you don't do because it implies you want them to die. Like, look, tick tock, you know? You don't do that, seriously. Like, you never bring a clock to a Japanese person at a hospital. The dogs have left you a fine gifted, yeah. The field. I don't see the problem with not meeting commies in the middle. I was given a toothbrush for Christmas, and I was grateful for it. Yes, Midwest Finest. But, like, we're all individual people with different wants and needs, right? So if it makes you happy to get a toothbrush for Christmas, that's you. You know, like, maybe the person that gave you the toothbrush knew the type of individual you are. I personally would rather have a toothbrush on Christmas than Fortnite. I guess, like, the only thing that you could do in order to offend me even more would be to give me Forspoken. Like, if you give me the Forspoken game, I will block you. Literally. I'm not even going to... No, block. Just instant. And then I'll ask Steam, it's like, how do I remove this from my account? Because there may be ways. I got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wristwatch at the hostel when I was a kid. Couldn't be happier. Yeah, but, like, dude, I was talking about Japanese culture. Like, you gotta be Japanese for this to apply. It reminds me of a thing where there was this person on Twitter which I believe went to Britain, and they were at the bazaar, and at the bazaar was like this Hindi guy selling shit, and they find a Confederate flag, and he's like, do you know what this is? And he goes like, yes. Like, Chad, like, imagine like the perfect Hindi person, you know, like masculine, strong jaw, and he's like, yes. You know, like the Chad, yes. Like, do you know what the Confederate flag is? And he's like, yes. Do you not know it's racist in America? And he goes like, well, it's a good thing we're not in America now, isn't it? David French is a conservative, actually. Is he? Well, he needs to study up on history and especially the history of religion a little bit more, because the way he explains Christianity is really, really poorly. But I guess, you know, the Americans do have a name for these conservatives, right? Rhino, Republican in name only. Get a haircut? Oh, it will take more than $1.99, man. Do you know that like right now, it's so fucking bad that just taking the cab away from my house, like to leave my house, it's $20. And to return, 20 extra. I have to pay 40 fucking bucks. I didn't have to do this during the Trump era for some reason. I hope the prices go down. Holy shit. 40 bucks to go out of my house and come back. With a taxi. If I take an Uber, it's 100 bucks. Because it's 50 bucks. Fortnite implies you're cringe. It is. I got a haircut and a real job. Okay, Marcotto, what is a real job? Tell me, what do you work at? Let me see. What is your real job? Time to get driver's license. You know, in one way, it would sound like a good idea, but in another way, I heard that the car maintenance is becoming more expensive. So yeah, I may actually have to pay more if I have my own car. Then you need to buy gas and stuff. Learn to code. Oh, ChatGPT knows how to code. Apparently, they're going to perfect it. The auto ChatGPT is going to code even better. When I went to Romania, one of the bartenders told me about when some leftists wearing a Che Guevara shirt found this band shirt offensive. Oh my fucking god. Buy a gasoline car while you still can. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be going to make the videos on my secondary channels now. Hopefully you guys were entertained, and I will see you in the comment section.